We're going to work with the discriminant, and this is the formula. We talked about it yesterday. Our discriminant, or the number of roots, is equal to b squared minus 4ac, and depending if it's positive, negative, or the number 0, they give us different results for the number of x-intercepts. So, I have a question here where they haven't given us our constant, our last value. What I'm going to do is we're going to solve for what value of m. So when m equals what, do we have 0 roots? For m equals what, do we have 1 root? And for m equal what, do we have 2 roots? And in order for these things to be possible, what does the discriminant have to be? For instance, to have 0 roots, what are we looking for? A negative value. To have 1 root? 0. And to have 2 roots? Positive. Excellent. So, when we say positive, we mean greater than a value. What value are we greater than if we're positive? 0. Or greater than 0. And it to be negative, we're what? Less than 0. So that's important for this. So, in this question, our discriminant is equal to, and we're going to plug in our values. This is our b. This is our a. And this is our c value. Our c value being m. So let's go put these values in. We're going to get negative 28 squared. And it doesn't matter that it's negative, because once we square it, it will become a positive value. Minus 4 times 49 times m. Okay, m is our unknown. So in our first one, we're looking for a negative value. So in other words, our discriminant is less than 0. So we're looking for when 0 is greater than, or this means a less than sign. We're looking for a value that is less than 0. Okay? So what's negative 28 squared? Do we have a calculator here? Sure. It's the same as 28 squared, which in this case is 784. Over here, we need to multiply negative 4 times 49 equals negative 196. Okay, negative 196 times m is still m. So what we're going to do is we're going to isolate. We're going to isolate for our m. We're going to look for a value when it's greater than 0. So, well, we haven't really talked about an inequality, but the idea is we're going to move this to the other side. What does it become? Okay, so negative 784. Okay, is greater than negative 196. This is an ugly one to do. Okay, that's fine. In order to isolate m, what do we have to do with this value? Yeah, sorry, I don't know why there's an equal sign. That shouldn't be there. This inequality stands for it. So, we need to divide by this. Now, we don't talk about this in this course technically, and this is why technically the question was asking us specifically for 1 root, because we're setting it equal to 0. But I'm going to teach you this anyways. If you're working with an inequality, and inequality is when we're talking about things being greater than or less than, when you divide or multiply by a negative, the inequality flips. Okay? We don't have to know this for our test, but it's good information to know anyways. So because we're dividing by a negative value, the inequality is going to flip. So it's now going to face the other way. We get negative 784, or 784, divided by negative 196. Because they're both negative, I know I'll get a positive answer. So what this says is m needs to be greater than 4. So any value greater than 4 will give us a positive value. Now, I probably shouldn't have shown you the inequality way. Another way we could have solved this is looking specifically at 1 root. Because with 1 root, we're not talking about less than or greater than. We're talking about specifically equal to. Okay? So let's focus on this idea, because this will be more helpful for the math we use in this course. Let's do that exact same idea. Same discriminant equation. Okay? Except in this case, it has to be equal to 0. Okay? And we're used to working with equal signs. So we have negative 28 squared minus 4 times 49 times n. Okay?
Good afternoon, please excuse me.
So, negative 28 squared we'd solved above. is equal to 784. And negative 4 times 49 was negative 196. So here's our idea. Same as before, we need to bring 700 over. We become negative 784 is equal to negative 196m. The goal is to isolate m. Okay. So in order to move that, and this is an equal sign, in order to move it, we just have to divide by it. And we already know what it's going to be. What's the value in this case? That's right, m is 4. So in order to have one root, our m value has to equal 4. Okay? Which then gives us information on 0 roots and 2 roots. We really didn't have to work with the inequality. I showed it to you, but as long as we knew the one root, we know that any value, in this case here, greater than 4, any value greater than 4 was going to give us a negative, and any value less than 4 would give us 2 roots. So, sorry, the inequality did help us know whether it had to be greater than or less than. That's something we didn't know before. But in order for that one root, we just set the discriminant equal to 0 and solve for our unknown.